BBC Radio 1 and 1Extra's Hackney Academy.
What's good? It's your boy Charlie Sloth, the People's Prince, the best looking fat guy in the universe, the guy your girl likes to think about. Representing BBC Radio 1 and 1Extra. And today, I'm going to be giving you my 5 tips on how to get on as an artist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So my first tip on to getting into the game is understanding the music that you're making and the audience you're trying to sell it to. For example, if you're making hip hop, you've got to understand who you're trying to sell that hip hop music to. You've got to find your audience. So you've got to be making music that's suitable for that audience. If you're making hip hop music, you can't make a drum and bass track and try and sell it to a hip hop audience. Understand the audience. Tip 2 is work rate. You've got to make sure your work rate is through the roof. Certain artists that I know and that I support are working 18-hour days. They're in the studio 7 days a week, perfecting their craft, making sure their music is so on point. And if you're not working 18 hours a day, how can you expect to overtake these guys that are already doing that? You've got to think on the same level these guys are thinking. It's like, if you want to be the next K Coke, the next Professor Green, the next Wiley, the next Lethal Bizzle, you've got to be putting in as much hours as these guys are putting in to get where they're at. Otherwise, you're never ever going to overtake them. So my second tip is work rate. Check your work rate. Tip 3, once you've got your work rate, you've got to make sure you're consistent. Consistency is so important. If you're not consistent with what you're doing, no one's going to pay attention, especially a DJ like myself. I'm looking for consistency. Now, you can make one great record, but if you ain't got a record to follow that record, it's anything. It's air. Like, I'm not paying attention. Like, when I'm looking for new artists now, I'm like, okay, what's your plan for the next year? I want to see the records you've got lined up for that year. I don't want to know that you've got one hot record and one hot video. I want to see what your plan is. I don't want to support you for one record, put all my weight behind supporting an artist, and then 2 months later disappeared because they weren't consistent and they never had the material to back up what they was doing, which goes back to work rate. So the work rate's got to come in before the consistency. You've got to make sure you've got a catalogue of works ready to put out there for the people so they can just really get behind you and follow you. They're not going to follow you if you're not consistent. So that tip is all about being consistent. Consistency is so important. Tip 4, so I've told you about understanding your audience, understanding the music you're making. Work rate, so important. I told you to be consistent. Now you've got to find your fan base. And it's so easy. Finding your fan base these days is so easy. 10 years ago, people never had the tools that we have today. You've got the internet. Twitter is free. YouTube is free. Facebook is free. They're all tools to promote your market. They're all tools to promote yourself in the industry, to promote your music. Use them, they're free. So my next tip is building a fan base. Do shows for free. Get out there, meet people. Build that fan base. If you haven't got a fan base, you're making music for yourself, you're sitting in your bedroom, it's dead. You're not doing anything. Tip 5. And my final tip is don't be scared to try something new. A lot of people feel the need to conform and follow the likes of Lethal, Pro Green, K Coke, Gigs, and sound like their peers. Don't do that. It's dead. I don't want to hear another K Coke. I don't want to hear another Gigs. I want to hear you. I want to hear you be yourself. Don't be scared to do something different. Be yourself. That is the best tip I can give any artist coming up in the game, trying to get into the industry. Be yourself, because there's only one of you. So do that. Be you.